happy Wednesday. I wanted to come on here and talk about the astrology. It is booming out there in here. And I wanted to share about the new moon in Capricorn, along with like 1,000 other things that are happening in the astrology. I swear that this is our PhD in astrology that we're getting in January. So a couple things before I get started talking about the new moon energy. One is I want to talk about Mars. What Mars has been going through, is going to go through. Two, I wanted to mention that I am hosting 2021 Freedom in Action Masterclass on January 13th, the new moon, which is exact on January 13th in Capricorn. So if you want to join that, the link is in my profile. If you already, the registration comes with a digital download of the 2021 Planetary Planner. Yes, it does. And if you've already purchased your planetary planner, then you get a discount, a promo code, and I can share that with you. Just PM me if you have your planner, and I can share with you that promo code. So if you want to join us for that, it is going to be booming. There's a lot to go over in the 2021 astrology, and we're going to be going over best use of your 2021 planner, because it is a little bit complex if you don't understand exactly how to use it. When you do understand how to use it, it's life-changing. So let's go over that together. And the other thing that I am sharing is that it is a great time to, hi Anna, it is a great time to schedule your astrological reading. And so I think I have openings in February. So if you want to work together, schedule that, because wowee, there's a lot to be aware of in your own chart based on what's happening in the astrology transits right now, okay? So you want to know, because likely your chart's getting lit up a lot. So, okay, let's talk about Mars. Mars has been on this journey through Aries for the last 6.5 months or so, and it's been intense because Mars is in its home placement of Aries. Today, it changes signs, so if you're not listening to this today, then we are already in Mars and Taurus energy, which I'm going to talk about as well. But this journey of Mars and Aries has been very trying on us individually, and recognizing where we individually need to be aligned and aware of our actions, our responsibility, our personal responsibility to ourselves, our families, the people around us, and how we can't really expect too much from others if we're not walking the talk, if we're not doing the thing, right? If we're not embodying the truth. And now, as we move from Mars in Aries to Mars in Taurus, we are going to go through it, because Mars is going to conjunct Uranus, which is in 6 degrees of Taurus. Uranus and Taurus, if you haven't gone back and watched my video on Uranus and Taurus, it's a longer transit. These outer planets take longer time to unpack our collective. And the last time that Uranus was in Taurus was the Great Depression. Now, like when I made that video, I didn't know all the things that we are going to be going through, that we still are going to be going through, because Uranus has a longer journey through Taurus for us. But we can focus on the negatives of that time period, or we could choose to focus on the outcome of that time period, right? So Uranus sudden shifts, changes to Taurus is uncomfortable, because Taurus loves comfort and Uranus shakes things up. And so we have to rework and relook at the things that we previously found comfort in, obviously, like look at our world right now. And then as Mars moves through Taurus, we are driven to have that comfort. We're driven to have that feel good experience, but we have to change the lens or the framework from which we look at it. Also, 2021, I believe, is the year that we stop hating on the feminine. And if we think about how much distaste and even like personally, how much judgment and feelings we have about successful women, about women who are living their truth, about women who are in their spiritual truth. There's a lot of hate thrown around. And so this is the year that we get to unpack that and shift some of those things. So that's super exciting. I'm going to talk more about that in my 2021 Freedom in Action Masterclass. So if you want to join that experience, the link's in my profile. It's on the 13th. So when Mars exactly conjuncts Uranus and Taurus, hi, if you're just joining me, I'm talking about the astrology right now, which is cocoa bananas. So it's a little bit all over the place, and I'm going to synthesize it down to basically, this is a time period of intensity, and it requires our participation. So how are we going to participate? How are we going to choose to participate this January, this February, this March? Who are we going to show up to be? What are we going to focus on? Where can we shift our perspective to see things in a different way? And before I get into the new moon astrology, because that's coming, this Mars conjunct Uranus is exact on January 20th, which is also the day that we're supposed to be having an inauguration. So we'll see what that actually looks like. But if we think about it from the lens of Taurus being the divine feminine, us being motivated and moving forward and shifting and sudden awakenings around our forward movements, then it's definitely going to be an interesting January, okay? So we have that all going on. Now, to focus in particular on the new moon in Capricorn, because that's what I came on here to do, we have it conjunct Pluto. So we have a new moon in Capricorn. Capricorn is an earth sign. It's practical. It's hardworking. It creates structure, and it creates this continual forward movement, this continual climbing of the mountain, because it is the mountain goat. They like scale the side of the mountain in ways that you're just like, I don't even know how that just happened, right? They keep going. They keep going. It's like a never-ending mountain, right? They're continuing to climb, to climb, to climb. So we have this new moon. New moons are new opportunities, and we want to look to where 23 degrees of Capricorn is in your chart. Now, the thing about this Capricorn new moon is that I've talked about this a lot. Those last 10 degrees of Capricorn have seen more action in the last 2 years than we've seen in our lifetimes, okay? What does this mean? That area of the last 10 degrees of Capricorn, look at where it is in your chart. You're gonna see patterns around where you've been forced, where you've been forced into action, where you've been forced into digging deeper, where you've been forced into expansion, where you've been forced into discipline, Saturn, expansion, Jupiter, digging deeper and moving into new places, Pluto. And now we have the sun and the moon hanging out there, which is like our deepest emotions and our conscious awareness aligning with Pluto, which if you look at Pluto from an evolutionary perspective, an evolutionary astrology perspective, it is the place where we experience the most pain, the most trauma, the most kind of deep suppressed pain in our chart. And when we are able to work through that, when we are able to feel that and really be with that, we are able to access our power to move forward evolutionarily in our lives. So look at where your natal Pluto is. Now, one of the things that you'll find is if you were born during a certain time period, so Pluto moves very slowly. And you're going to find that if you were born during the time period of, oh shoot, am I going to be able to guess this? Let's see. So Pluto's very slow, Libra. So I think it's 76. I'm not entirely sure. It might be 77. I think it's 76, 1976 to possibly 83. You'll have to look at this on your own, 83, 84. You have Pluto in Libra. So you're experiencing your Pluto square, and that's intense. Now, this is especially true if you were born in the later end of that cycle. And what that means is that you're being challenged. Anytime we have a square to our Saturn, we have a square to our Pluto, we are being challenged at the deepest level. So when you look at your own chart, you're going to want to understand what personally for you is being called into this deeper feeling, this deeper participation to the intensity so that you can heal, grow, flourish, be in your power, okay? To be in your power at this time is the most meaningful thing. It's the it, right? And so whatever actions, whatever helpers, whatever things speak to you about getting into your personal power right now, that's all it's about. That's all it's about. Like literally, if we had everyone that took their stimulus check and invested in themselves and invested in their own power and coming into their own power more, we would do so much more for the healing of our planet than focusing on politics or focusing on what's going wrong here or there or the other place, right? So remember that this journey, all of these things, all of these intensities are trying to spur you into your own power, trying to spur you into your own action, trying to spur you into your own dharma. So the more that you're resisting that, the more that you're creating dis-ease, disharmony, and disservice to the collective, okay? And the opposite is what we're programmed to believe, that we're selfish, that we're not worthy, that we shouldn't be investing in ourselves. But at this new moon, if you can just open your mind a little bit to investing into your health, your well-being, and your service to yourself, it's going to go a long way. So look at where 23 degrees, those last 10 degrees of Capricorn is in your chart. You're going to understand a lot about this last 2 years journey and where you're being called into starting fresh in a new way, in a new cycle, in your power for this year. So that all being said, let me make sure I covered everything here. So this new moon is about being practical, committed, and structured to your deepest feelings, where you've been previously suppressing feeling, being your insights, your intuition, your shadow work, your places that you feel like, you know, nobody could possibly handle. Like you can handle that. You can handle yourself. You can handle your own soul's growth and evolution. So setting intention into being with that, being with yourself, being with your own personal work at this time around evolution is going to take you so far in 2021. And Saturn square Uranus, Jupiter square Uranus, Mars square Saturn, Mercury is right there. This is a lot. So Mercury, Jupiter, and Saturn are all freshly in Aquarius at this time. And Mercury is our processing, thinking. It's the way that we even process our own emotions. Hello, how are you doing? It's the way that we process, right? So Mercury in Aquarius is new ideas. You know, Uranus rules Aquarius. So it is sudden shifts and changes to the way that you've been processing your own needs, your own discipline, your own expansion, because Jupiter and Saturn are right there dealing with both expansion and discipline. That all squares Mars and Uranus over in Taurus. I talked already about Mars and Uranus together in conjunction. That's exact on January 20th. But at the new moon, we're seeing a square, which is a challenge. We have more challenges in this new moon than we typically see in a new moon. And because of that, we have so much more opportunity to grow and set new intentions and be with the change. And there is, you know, I would say 7 challenges to this new moon, but there are 6 placements of ease as well. We have Venus trine Uranus, which is loving on the change, loving on the suddenness of how we need to have aha moments, how we need to shift and change. And I don't know about you guys, but what I keep hearing from clients and from friends and from my community is that you're seeing things a little bit differently, and that what we're having an opportunity to have is some awareness about how much we've grown and shifted and changed in this last 2 years in particular, but especially in this last year. And because of that, because once we're able to see how much we've shifted, grown, and changed, we're able to then also see how much more we want to grow, shift, and change. And so this new moon gives you the opportunity to think big and really go big. It's like go big or go home. And that's kind of the universal message with this new moon. It requires our participation in the intensity. And so these are all, you know, that for as many challenges there are at this new moon, there is a lot of ease as well. And so it all depends on what we focus on. If we focus on the ease within those challenges, we're able to meet them even clearer. And one thing that I said in my posts, that, you know, as I just moved again, and, you know, the movers came and they were like, wow, like, you're pretty, like, badass, like, like not to be, you know, but like, you got this. And for being a single mom of 3 kids, like, you got this. And, you know, one of the mantras that I have in my mind is, I can do hard things. And I don't know where I borrowed that from, because somebody else said it before me and I totally took it. And it is such a great mantra. So I highly recommend you embody that mantra this year, because you can do hard things. You can do difficult things. You can meet challenges, and you can grow, and you can shift and awaken and move forward. And that doesn't depend on anyone else or anything else that's happening in our world right now, because there's a lot happening. But we need to stay focused on being able to meet our own challenges, being able to shift, grow, and change so that we can serve the collective at this time. Have a beautiful new moon time period. If you want to join me in the masterclass, where we're really going to go into how we can do this, click the link in my profile, join us. It's called Freedom in Action 2021. I do have a promo code for those of you that already have a planner. If you don't already have a planner, your registration includes a digital download of the planner. So I hope to see you there. Have a beautiful rest of your week.